Not the water bottle.
I thought we did the cups.
No.
That's later.
Later.
I don't know anything, okay?
You're
You know
fine.
what? This
You're
is
fine.
this is the vibe for today.
It's dangerously
Truly.
early for sugar. I just want everyone to know we are making sugar do this at a very early time, so it's fine. We're living and breathing and surviving. But
I'm not even sugar. I'm some dude named Carl today. Ugh. That's not my name out of drag. That's not my name out of drag.
I was like, not some dude
I was gonna
named
say, I
Carl.
was like,
not Carl.
Who's Carl? Okay.
Not
no.
me.
No, just kidding.
Well, now you're Carl. As far as the cup is concerned, you're Carl.
You're Carl out of drag. I don't know who you are.
Yeah. Please welcome to the stage, Carl out of drag. Oh, goodness. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real in the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. For once, we're recording in the morning, so I can justify having coffee.
yeah.
And I've got a very specific color scheme going on. I don't know if you know who I'm rooting for. It's not at all obvious. But yeah, I'm drinking coffee. I almost went to Dunkin' this morning, and then I didn't have time because I woke up late. So I'm just drinking a normal everyday iced coffee here, and living my best life.
Work. Hi, y'all. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, here to give tea, spill tea, and drink tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. I am not drinking tea though because that would be weird. No, I'm drinking water. No, it's not weird at all. I would love to drink tea because I just didn't have time to make it, so I just got water instead. Hydration still is important. But I do have my cup mug always and forever. And you can get your cup mug 2.0 at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. We do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses, unless there's some excuses. Like there's some delays happening apparently in this world of transporting things. So if you order, which you should, and there's a delay, which it might be, it's okay. Delays are not denies. So you can still get it. It just comes later. So still order your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch. LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. Link in the description below. Period. Thank you.
Hi, I'm River, your Brazilian correspondent here on the cup, and today I'm just drinking some water out of my skull mug because I'm thirsty as fuck.
Period.
Sugar.
Oh.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
I wanted to make the joke first. No, hi, I'm Carl. I'm 49. I'm single, and I am looking for a guy or a gal. Carl's bi.
Period.
Carl's bi.
Come on now.
I'm not
You like
sugar
long
stop.
walks on the
Carl is.
You
No,
like
I'm
long walks on the
sugar-free.
beach?
Long walks on the beach, big dick fried chicken. Yes.
Period.
I'll steal that joke because I'm too lazy to come up with my own list. I am sugar-free, the diabetic fairy of LA, but today I am sugar-free because I just I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
You should.
And you know what? We'll see Carl again, I'm sure. Now that Carl's made an appearance, it's gonna be really hard to not just be like, well, I already did that. Ugh. I just like the philosophy of being in drag for a podcast about drag. I don't know.
We love that.
I'm glad you've come to the realization that it's not always feasible and it's not always necessary, and I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah, but you look prettier every time you do something. So
You do.
it's an
But you look
excuse
so
to
pretty right now, though.
Yeah.
I do. And I looked
You
fucking
do.
hot during the Look Over Here we recorded yesterday, so go check
Yes, you
that
did.
out.
Period.
Yes.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I do have a water bottle.
What?
What? I didn't even see
And-
that.
And it's filled with water. Yeah, that's it.
Her.
Werk. And I am Brandon, professional fangirl of Constant Dragon video games. As always, I'm drinking water, but as of right now, I do have remnants. However, I am going to get my Stanley at some point when we talk about it at some point. So,
Is that a generic bottle of water, Brandon?
it is.
That's all.
But
There's gotta be one. There's always gotta be one. But we are here. We are talking about the premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race season 17.
Yay!
And what a great episode. I'm living.
A lovely episode of television. A lovely episode of television. I'm very impressed. I've watched it 3 times, and I think I like it. I don't know. There's a lot to like, and there's a lot to, I don't know if anybody else watched the Entertainment Weekly interview that the cast did before the premiere with Joey Nolfi, but all I can tell you is this season is about to be maybe the single most chaotic season of Drag Race we've ever seen. As evidenced.
I hope so. I'm excited for that.
I am too. But we're gonna talk all things premiere of season 17, except for the looks, because you can find them in 2 other episodes that we're gonna be dropping. So don't worry. This is the recap for people that are new here. This is the recap episode where we're gonna talk about everything but the looks. We're going to be talking about the entrance looks in a separate Look Over Here episode, and then also the runway in a separate Look Over Here episode as well. So make sure to tune in for those because we've got a lot of content for you all. And we're going to dive into this recap. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Do all the things. Hit the buttons down below. Check out the description where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access. Lots of new Patreon content coming in 2025. So stay tuned. Period. And we are also currently still covering Canada's Drag Race while it is still airing. So go make sure to check out our Canada's Drag Race coverage. Shout out to Canada's Drag Race. So we start this premiere like we have never started a Drag Race premiere before with the Squirrel Game.
Well, I think season 1, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, season 1 was just season 1.
No, I thought they definitely killed people in season 1. Am I misremembering that?
I think you are.
There was a season where they did the the zombies in the first episode. You know what I mean? Like the queens from the earlier seasons were the zombies. I think it was season 4. Yeah.
Season 4 did have actual zombies. I was making a joke because I'm an idiot,
Yeah.
but that actually did happen.
Oh.
I mean, that season 4 is the closest I think that we've had to what we had for this premiere. Right, with like
we didn't start
in
in the workroom. We didn't start with a Rue laugh montage. No, we're picking people up off the streets like it's Squid Games.
The city-wide shots was wild. I was like, okay.
Seattle, Miami, Pacoima, of course.
Yeah, Pacoima.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're picking up the girls. They're going to the Squirrel Games, and obviously the big giant doll, of course, is going to be Lil Pound Cake. Of course. Of course.
Love that.
Of course.
Love that.
And
also the clown as Bianca Del Rio. Again,
I was gonna say we get the reappearance of the Bianca Del Rio stand-in clown, and I for one am thrilled.
So close to being on this
I think it was the same person.
Yep, it is. It is.
It's
I think so.
I'm happy about it. I'm truly happy about it. Like the little bits of lore that they brought into this episode, like the reference of Pacoima, because that's literally been referenced across like all the Drag Race seasons. Bringing back past contestants. I was happy to see as many people as we saw. And also bringing in some local LA and San Diego queens. I thought that was a really great addition too. Some of them, could have been picked a little bit better. Some of them were not great choices, all things considered, but I was happy that they were there nonetheless.
This was a
now
fun,
I'm curious
segment in the beginning, but I thought it was fun and campy and stupid. I think I could have enjoyed it more if I had actually watched the series that it was referencing. So it was a little bit, but it was still fun and campy,
Weirdly enough, It referenced the reality show Squid Game more so than the actual like the way they did like the fake confessionals. It was very much like the competition show. So interesting choice.
I mean, look, if we go be honest, Squid Games, the challenge when it came out, was a very big at that time. It was a very big show on Netflix, and it was something that was very pop culture reference at the time. And so I like that they incorporated that into it, because as someone who did watch Squid Game Challenge and covered it here on the Cup TV, if you want to go check all those coverages out, it was fun to see that. And I liked how they made it drag, like they made it drag race and had that still Squid Games-esque vibe. It was very cute. I enjoyed it. I liked seeing it. And I liked how they decided to do, instead of having the packs like on Squid Games explode and then they die, they did the pie and they threw it at them and hit them with the pie. I thought that was hilarious. It was cute. It was campy. It was funny. It was fun to watch. And I myself don't know all the queens from the past. I don't know everybody, but the people I did recognize, I was like, oh, it's good to see them there. Oh, I know of that person. I've heard of that person. So it was fun to watch that, even if you didn't know all the lore of Drag Race. And it was just a fun little thing. It was fun.
It was a really fun treat if you're just from Southern California and go to your local drag scene too, because there was just so many girls I've worked with who were in that lineup too. Like, shout out Nabor Styles, shout out Aziza Bijou, season 18. Y'all aren't fucking ready for Aziza Bijou. That is the vibiest, coolest fucking chick on this side of the block. Oh my god. Who else was there? Lolita Colby was there. There's
Lolita, yes.
Lolita Colby.
But such a fun choice. It almost felt like they might have been alternates on that season, or they were people that got really far in casting.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is like I think
we're getting a preview for season 18.
It's testing the waters, kind of a little bit. I think.
Right.
How well do they do on camera?
Right. How do they look on camera?
Nabor Styles, who was like in a black sequin dress, beautiful brown hair. She does this Titanic number where she fucking brings out like a fucking giant diorama of the fucking Titanic, doing My Heart Will Go On. And at one point she just like slowly tips it and it just like slides down her arms.
I live. That also provided me with another new great soundbite / video that I want to play for you all now.
Oh no! Yeah. Why did I know that's what you were going?
The way they did my sis Angeria dirty was
that was her.
That was Angeria. Oh Lord! I need that. I need that as a reaction. I need that like all of it. I was just like, why are we doing? And of course, pork chop was first out.
Yep. Like it had to be, because obviously
in the same hair and dress from her meme, right?
And
the one with the phone, or no?
Oh, that's
Oh no,
that's the one where she was like looking uninterested in the audience during one of the finales.
Oh, it is. And not
the phone is Stacey Lee Matthews. It's not.
Yep.
But yes, we go through. Everyone's getting pied. I was happy to see people like Honey Davenport for half a second.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "There's Honey. She's there. Put her back on All Stars, please. Thank you." But yes, I loved it. I loved it. Then we get our queens. And of course, only the 14 queens that are actually on the season make it through. And we end up, this is where we go to entrances. Now we're going to talk about the entrance looks on look over here, but there are some things that happen in these intro sequences that I would like to discuss at length, including, but not limited to, a quote from Mother Lexi Love.
Mm-hmm.
When she talks, when Miss Sam Smith comes, or not Miss Sam. Oh Lord! Oh Lord! That's
Season
Miss Sam
24,
Smith is on
Sam
another
Smith.
episode of. Well, no, Miss Sam Smith is on another episode of this season that we'll see. Which I'm very excited
Oh.
about.
I could
No, when
see
Miss
this
Sam
genuinely
Star,
switching to do a drag career and just like going on Drag Race in a
and
later year.
honestly, I would love that for them.
I mean, I have seen
Um,
Sam Smith in drag, so
Period. But no, when
Maybe
Miss
the
Sam
world
Star
will one
comes
day.
into the workroom from Leeds, Alabama, Lana. Do you know where Leeds is? Because I certainly had never heard of Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds is like literally 10, like the next exit up from my sister's house.
Oh, where?
I go to Leeds often. Period. Bucky's is in
Period.
Leeds.
Okay, shout out to
And-
Leeds. Shout out to
period.
Leeds. But when Sam came in and Lexi goes, well, knowing Sam's family, she might be a bit of a she devil.
You know what?
Ma'am!
Lexi is giving me exactly what I need, what I want, what I've been begging for.
Ma'am.
Just Google She Devil Drag Race Reddit if you don't know what that is. We don't have to get into it.
Yeah. And then I think the other big moment being Hormona. Just Hormona in general.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, they were gagged.
And one of them
they
was
could-
furious.
They were
Mhm.
gagged. They were mad. They were like, I was like, y'all hating on this woman for doing what she needed to do to get on the show. Let's not be mad at. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. Like it's
Literally.
not her fault that none of y'all decided to go to a book signing with your USB port audition tape and get called out by RuPaul's Charles themselves. Like that is not her fault that you did not do that. And she
Yeah.
got on this show. Like, don't be a hater, be a congratulator, and then just beat her in the competition. But don't be mad because of how she got there. Just make sure she don't win
Right.
it. Like,
Look, Nerve comes in all different flavors, and that bitch is strawberry flavored Nerve. Because
period.
damn,
Period. I was
The amount of
Lexi clocked and she was like, because Hermona told the whole story of what happened, and Lexi was like, so she didn't watch it.
I mean, but that doesn't even matter.
didn't need to.
She didn't need to. That's my thing.
Yes,
She's
but
like,
it
she's,
was just so funny that
and
she
see, if
quick.
I would have quick, like I wanted Hermona to be so quick back with these hoes and be like, so she didn't watch it, and like she didn't have to because I did what I needed to do. Like I needed that banter back and forward to just like bam, bam, because I
But she
felt like
didn't.
they were coming for her for no reason at all because she did what she needed to do to get on the show. I was kind of just like, okay, haters, I see y'all. I love it, but I see y'all hating. Like it was entertaining to watch the haters out in real time. I love seeing haters be haters in real time because I was like, ooh, haters be hating. But
and
I
by
needed-
haters. Oh yeah.
that was Lexi, that was Corey, that was all the ones like,
by
oh,
haters,
so
you
you
mean
don't
Corey
read?
King?
Did you read the book? Like, she ain't have to read the book. She ain't have to watch my audition tape. She ain't have to do none of that stuff because guess what? I was going to Hollywood, baby. Here I am. I loved it. I loved all the hate. I loved Hormona and her stories. I just enjoyed that moment. It was fun to watch. Period.
So good. It was so good. What else from the entrances stood out to us all?
Just Ariette coming in, just doing the stitch. Hi.
Lived.
To me, it was when Anya came in and she was introducing herself to the girls, and she introduced herself to Lexi and said, "I'm Anya Nerve," and Lexi said, "I bet you will be."
And Anya said, I sure
And
will.
Lexi,
Lexi is
she's mhm,
the girl we thought she would be.
Yep.
mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
Even more, honestly. Even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
She
More,
is
yeah.
she is so quick. Like she had some lines and she had some things in this episode. I was like, Lexi,
Mhm.
girl, okay, because one thing she said in this episode, I said it on this podcast, and I was like, I wonder if anybody is going to bring that up. Is anybody going to talk about it? And Lexi did. And I was like, see, the Nepo baby thing is real, and people are seeing it. And I brought it up, and Lexi was like, yes, this Nepo baby thing is something, and I'm going to have to take all these Nepo babies down. And I was like, peer.
I quote, smoke and toke these
Smoke and
Nepo
toke
babies.
these
And
Nepo
I'm like,
babies.
okay,
Yeah.
so she's a sister. Got it. Great.
I was
Period.
like,
Mhm.
I
I was like, I
I'd
don't
like
like
to
this
love-
woman for a reason.
I
Add
felt
Lexi Love to the Dream Blunt rotation. Thank you.
I felt so validated in that moment. I was like, I
I'm
am
glad you
seen,
did.
I am heard. Like people know I know what I'm talking about. It just seemed like
Period.
everybody's related to somebody.
Yeah.
But-
I love Joella stepping on Lexi's whole thing, going, I'm not trying to sabotage you yet.
Yes.
Yet.
There's plenty of time for that.
I love
My-
when she was like, sorry, Joella moment that she just goes like, Acacia's here from LA. Like basically it was such a flip of like, wow, way to say hi to a friend, pal.
It was
Nice.
very, there's room for everyone. Let's just say that. It was very that.
My favorite Joella in that moment when Lydia walked in was like, did somebody say my name 3 times? She's like, that'll be a no.
No.
Like,
The answer is
no.
no.
That's the answer's no. I was like, period.
I live.
I live for these moments, and Crystal's line coming in, she was like, I envy me
I envy
too.
myself.
I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, like I love those lines. So good.
The
So-
girls were having fun in the
They were
entrances.
having-
I live.
yes. Anya's entrance was a standout to me. I liked her entrance when she came in and she was like, she just knew. She just know. She go get on your nerves. And everybody, I was like, absolute. I kind of slept on Anya nerves at the beginning. I really liked her in this episode. And I was like, I think Anya nerves gonna be one of my okay, I see.
She
I
came
was
through
like,
with the personality.
She
Right on-
really
Absolutely.
did right off the bat. I was
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
happy.
Mhm.
I thought a lot of my thoughts about people from the beginning were kind of flipped around in this episode. Like I didn't think Anya was going to be one of those people. I thought Corey was going to be somebody who I was going to love instantly. Still love her, but she didn't do it for me in this episode. I'm thinking next episode we'll probably see more and more of her personality. So I'm not like closing the door. But like in this episode, I was like, Corey didn't give me what I wanted, and she was good, but she didn't give me what I wanted. I was obsessed with her from the pre and stuff. Still obsessed with her, still love her, but I just want to see more. I didn't think Joella was going to be the person who I was laughing at so much, but she is. I was like, whoa, okay. Sam. I was not expecting Sam to be as Southern and catty as Sam was, but I should have known better because the Southern girls, baby, we just know how to do it down here. They know how to be so nice, nasty, and I love it. I live for the nice, nasty Southern belles because it's like, oh, bless your heart, honey. You just bless your heart.
That's the
And
pageant in her. That is the pageant in her.
that's what Sam was giving me this entire time. I was like, I was just waiting for Sam to say, bless your heart. Like I needed that moment, but maybe we'll get it. But I was thoroughly impressed with this group of ladies. Lexi ate this premiere up for me as far as confessionals and her one-liners and her quick wit. I was just like, did not expect it. But I love it.
I live.
Somebody else.
Yep.
Oh, it's Jewel Sparkle.
Ah,
We talk about
ding.
Jewel Sparkle. Ding, ding. I was like, is that gonna get on my nerves? Probably not, because I love it. Ding. She just exuded this sparkliness, girly, and there's one more person, Lucky Stars. I
Oh my
adore.
god.
Oh my! I think I'm gonna put a star in my name because that might be my heart pick of the season. I think.
I love.
I mean, I'm already giving it away. What my Stan card is.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
right
It's
there,
love.
darling.
It's yeah.
It's on the other side, love. But yes.
Oh, well, for me,
You didn't-
it's on this side. I don't care.
The mirror.
Let me,
of it
be,
all.
let me be strong and wrong.
I might be
I
putting a
will.
star in my name because baby, Lucky Stars
Let
took my
me
whole
point it. Let me
heart.
point at this spot right here. Yeah.
Not that.
Anyway. No, these girls are gonna be chaos. This season is gonna be good. I'm very, very excited. But we get RuPaul walking in. Welcome to Drag Race. All right, you've already done a mini challenge, and guess what? I was like,
Wait, what?
what?
Excuse me?
Squeeze me?
Like the way she just nonchalantly was like, yep, so I was watching while you did the Squirrel Games, and the winner of your first mini challenge is Lana Del Rey. I was like, okay.
How much of Squirrel Games was? This is where I'm like, what happened? Was that
Right.
an actual? Did those other queens have packages ready and they just needed to? Like, I don't want to think that's true. I really don't. I just want to believe this was LA casting, but
I think it was just LA. I hope it was just LA casting. Imagine finding out you're not on Drag Race by getting pied in the face.
honestly, there's one person in that lineup I would be more than happy that happening to, but the others would feel really
Me
bad
too.
for.
But yes, Lana wins the first mini challenge, and wins $2,500. That's it.
Period. That's all
Just
she needs.
$2,500. I was like, all right.
We only want the cash.
Oh, it's usually
baby. We
like
don't need nothing else.
sponsored by somebody, or there's usually
It came from
hand
RuPaul.
fist in. I
It
guess.
came from
Or
RuPaul.
Today
It came out of
Text,
RuPaul's pocket.
the new
Today Text.
the new sponsor. Well, it's not Cash App anymore. Fuck Cash App.
Cash App has got their own problems.
Yeah.
I get.
They got to
Yeah.
pay enough people. They can't afford to pay RuPaul's
Yeah.
people anymore.
But yeah, so Lana wins the first mini challenge. We then find out the first maxi challenge is, of course, the talent show. And of course, split up over 2 episodes. And of course, Ray to Queen is back. But
Yep.
with a
But
twist. And
Ooh, a
this,
twist.
in the words of
Twist
Hannah
of twist.
Chata, was a good twist. This was a
Mhm.
good twist. Where not only do the girls get to pick the lineups for both weeks of the talent show, but the girls that are not competing in the talent show each week are the girls that will be doing the Rate of Queen for the other set of queens. I love the way they did this. I
did too.
love the way they did this.
I really prefer this rather than what they did last season. This is
I agree.
Mhm.
much more interesting and
Mhm.
like interesting for us, the viewers, to watch. And I feel like it's more interesting for the queens to be able to strategize for what they want to do for their
Mhm.
whatever they decide that they want to do with that.
It's
I think it's more
RuPaul's social
interesting and better for
strategy
everyone.
race.
Yep.
Mhm.
God, and honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really like RuPaul's social strategy race. Personally, I'm like,
Fair.
okay, this is a competition about cross-dressing, and I feel like y'all just the person that ends up being at the bottom at the end of the episode is definitely the person that you would assume is at the bottom of the episode, like the person that probably had the least amount of alliances, quote unquote. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
Sure.
but I didn't realize that alliances were all it takes to be America's Next Drag Superstar. And like after Dragula's whole alliance gate this year, I'm just
Oh,
I'm
God.
I'm very excited to watch Traders because that's the point of the fucking okay.
Very.
I mean, but even when RuPaul and the judges judge, a lot of the times the people that should be in the bottom are not, and the people that like it could go either way no matter what. So like it's the
Mhm.
thing is I'm at a point with Drag Race that I know it is not fair or based on logic, objective things. I know
Yeah.
that. I just enjoy watching it for the entertainment value and for the drag. That's it. I don't believe that the results are fair. That's it. And then I get less mad.
Right.
healthy.
That's all.
It's like I'm just
That's
gonna
it.
take that element out, and then I don't have to think
Yeah.
about it. And then I'm like, okay, we're good.
I just get
Um,
entertained at this point. You know what I mean? That's it.
Absolutely. I think the strategy part of it is the strategic part of my brain is like, oh, I love it. This is great. Like the competition reality, in my head that I love watching and playing is like, oh, this is great. But then I'm like, but okay, I feel like since this is not the first time they've done this is not like they've done this before. You always come in with some kind of game plan because it's still a competition at the end of the day. Even if it's the judges are making it's still a competition at the end of the day. And you still need some of the girls on your side at the end of the day for whatever reason, if it's moral support or if it's, just to feel more comfortable in that space during this time of pressure and, whatever. You still need somebody in your corner. So I would always come into a competition, regardless if it's strategy game or if it's a cooking show. I'm going to get somebody on my side. So if I can get somebody to help me when I need it, you feel like, hey girl, we cool. You got this makeup I need to borrow, or you got I want somebody who I can work with throughout the game. So I feel like everybody should have came in trying to get those connections right off the bat with people. Not necessarily an alliance, but just some kind of comfort, support, some emotional or moral support around.
I respect that because that is coming in. I'm trying to work the metagame of a drag competition, of a competitive show. Like that makes sense to me. It's like I want to make sure that I'm well equipped to take care of makeup issues, wardrobe malfunctions, anything that could go wrong, a wig falling out of place even at the last second because the box didn't travel well. Right. It just, when it tips into early social maneuvering, I'm like, we're losing the picture here. Remember when we just used to have to make a dress episode 1 and you better hope you were kind enough that someone would help you sew? As opposed, see, I kind of love the Golden Beaver from Canada's Drag Race, and I used to say that when All-Star 2's twist was first announced. I said to my friends, like, they should just have it be that the winner of the week gets to save one person from the bottom 3. It just made the most sense to me, and it still objectively punishes the 3 people for doing the worst in the challenge, however the judges choose. Gives the slightest chance for social strategy. So if you really want to do that a little bit for yourselves, producers, and you still have them fighting for themselves at the end, as opposed to so many people who have come onto social strategy seasons of All Stars and lost because of that could have won the series. And I'm like, we're not doing this right, I don't think.
I think you're correct me if I'm wrong, but I think where you're coming from is similar to where I come from, which is I watch Drag Race because I love drag, not because I love reality television, like reality competition shows.
Wow.
And I think that is where they lost it. It started as more focused on drag, and then the reality competition was second, right? It was the two, but it was drag, reality competition. And slowly it did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that is maybe where me and you, I think, maybe got lost a little bit and maybe don't enjoy it as much. But I'm starting to learn how to enjoy it again. So that
I love reality competition shows. Don't get me wrong, but I keep talent-based reality competition shows and social strategy shows in completely
2 different
buckets
boxes.
Because I think that I want talent to be the thing that determines it. And maybe a little bit of a social game helps you like get the track that you wanted for the music challenge or get the fabric that you didn't want. Get sent to somebody else.
For the small things, not
for the
big
small things. And maybe it does affect the big picture, but it's not so much like this isn't Dracula. You don't have to tie someone's hand behind their back or basically isolate someone on a corner to make sure that you're safe that week.
Right. Yeah. Or end up with gross tie-dye fabric and not able to do a design challenge properly, Brenda.
Oh wait, she did that to herself.
Oops.
I know. Anyway, we're de-dragging, and instantly everyone's like, well,
I want to see what everybody looks like.
Showmances. The budding showmances. And there's one that those of us chronically online, Ben knew. And I was just waiting to see how it formed, and that is between Miss Corey King and Miss Lydia Bajo Collins.
Really?
We Ben knew.
Okay.
We Ben knew.
I mean, you yes.
knew.
Me, and by we I mean me.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was about to say because I did not know. I don't follow people like that.
I am also so chronically online that I've watched every single video on Corey King's YouTube channel because that's how with Corey I am.
But we also had Ariadne and Lucky.
Yes.
Which
we also had Ariadne and Lucky, which I am.
That was fun.
Equally excited for. I was like,
Ariadne
was so giddy.
Thirsty,
it was so cute. She was like, it was very, very high school, but in the best, like, cute, sweet way. Of that high school crush. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love Corey just being like, I'm here looking for a man. I'm looking for a man.
Love the honesty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, I don't remember if you mentioned, but I loved the gag that the queens get to choose who performs on week 1 and who performs on week 2. Right? Like that is another but that's another level of like...
Let's transition to that moment then. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. So yes, the girls sit down. We're deciding who's going to be in what group for the talent show. And it starts out pretty easy. It's like, all right, who wants to be in week 1?
Joella's like, me, Katy Perry's here, me.
Oh yeah, because we find out that the premier guest judge is Katy Perry. Cool. Okay. And Joella's like, oh my God, Katy Perry. I used to go by Joella Perry. Oh my God, Katy Perry. I'm a Katy Cat. Be performing in front of Katy Perry.
I knew her as Joella Perry
I'm about to
first.
Perform in front of Katy Perry.
And she's literally gone in full drag and gone on stage at Katy Perry concerts and like chilled backstage with her. Like,
she's like, I want to do it. I want to be first. I want to play.
Go ahead.
No.
Joella was like, me.
I was doing Joella as you were talking. Me. I want to be first. I want to play.
And the way Joella acted as if there were like 9 or 10 people that wanted to go in the first week.
Right.
I will be going this week. I will be performing for Katy Perry. And I'm like, baby, there are 6 of you. We're scrambling to find a seventh person.
You are.
You're fine.
You are.
And meanwhile, Joella's like, stop if you can, I'll fight, babe.
Like, Joella's like, stop. It doesn't matter what any of you say. I will be performing for Katy Perry this week. No one will take me off of this stage. I was like, baby, we still trying to get the 7th person.
No one is struggling to
find.
Nobody's struggling.
Yeah,
you're good. You're in the lineup. You got it.
Yes,
but
I'm the opposite.
I'm so happy that she got that chance because
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about name dropping for a second because I think it's a very taboo thing, and sometimes it's really hard when you are a name dropper who has a valid reason in it. And as someone who's been around Joella and works gigs with her, like she doesn't do it all the time. It's mainly like a social media thing. She's not like saying it in a fucking dressing room like a sociopath, but. It was just so validating for Katy to walk in and just be like, hold on, I know that mug. I know that person. Immediately. I was like so validated for Joella. I was like,
I love that for Joella.
She deserved that
for her.
And it was so weird because the girlies were gagged. They were like, wait, you know
why you the best one?
Everyone was like, huh?
Like Katy Perry. You know Joella? She's like,
this is Katy Perry. This is Katy Perry. You know her.
The real Katy, and you know her. And she's like, oh my God, I watched you when you were like, I remember when you
I made you.
Drag.
I was like, okay.
I made you. I was like, okay, hold on, Katy.
Oh, I was like, okay, I hate that.
Me too.
Me too. I didn't like it. I was like, you didn't make her.
Katy Perry,
but she's a fan.
But you know,
she's a fan. She's a good fan of yours.
No matter how anyone feels about Katy Perry, this is a queer person who was inspired by a person and like given a voice and a talent. So like, no, in that sense, love you, Katy Perry, because Joella's awesome, and I'm glad that.
Truthfully, this episode of Drag Race is the most I've liked Katy Perry in years. truthfully.
I wouldn't say that, but I liked her a lot in that scene.
I
liked
will
her in
say,
that scene.
and
I
that's
don't-
not saying much.
I just don't like the connotation that you made someone, because baby, you didn't make her. Joella made herself, but she just
Right.
happens to be a super fan of yours, which I respect. But yeah, that was my
Like,
only. I was like,
I'm sure Katie
for-
helped with like opening
Yes.
doors and all of that, but
Yes.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Katie even knew that Joella had dropped the Perry from her name. Because I probably not. Probably
Probably
not.
It feels like Katy Perry in this episode for me felt like that one straight woman. And Lana, I'm not saying any of this is about you before I say what I'm about to say, because you are what? An ally. But she feels like that one woman that shows up to the drag brunch every once in a while, but acts like she's the world's biggest ally.
Uh-huh.
She's like, oh, I've always been for the gays. I'm here for the gays. I live for the gays. I'm like, baby,
oh
no.
yeah. Oh,
When your
that's
You know
first
what?
hit
You know-
was when your first
activism of this
hit.
episode was too much.
No.
You know
When
what?
your
But that
first
woman
hit
always
is
brings
something-
20s to the brunch. That woman always brings 20s to the brunch. Even though she doesn't show up often, the girls are happy to see her.
That's totally
That's all I wanted
me on this podcast. So you did not offend me. I just show up and I'm like, oh, I know everything about drag. I'm an expert. I know it all. Of course I got that reference. What do you mean? And I give my 120. Right, I give my 120%, and then I leave.
Yes.
And I walk away and never
Yeah.
think about it again afterwards.
Because I feel like that's enough for them to like
No.
come for once in a while, but still support that much. But yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Like how much? Because I'll be honest, like for how long I've like, because like again, my name Monster Cat derives from being a little monster and a kitty cat out of spite for Stan Twitter, because
Period.
hybrid
Right.
stands are not a thing apparently, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna mix it. But I've started to like veer away from Katy Perry because of what happened this year. Look it up if you know why. So, and this felt calculated of why she was on this
Yep.
episode today.
Ooh.
And
And
I'm just gonna say one thing. I just want to say one
Yes,
thing.
please.
Katy Perry was my least favorite thing about this episode. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
yep,
I would
Fair.
agree.
yep.
Yeah.
And
agree.
it felt very the same logic behind Pink Money. Is it Pink Money, or is that's for women, right? Rainbow washing is the term.
Rainbow washing.
It felt
Rainbow
very
washing.
rainbow washing for her image. Yes.
Pink tact, I think, is the other term.
Yes.
Yeah.
My brain is not. That's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It felt very
We-
performative. That's what I would say. We'll move on though to talking about
Yes.
these gorgeous, lovely girls. So yes, we have 6 people. Circling back to that conversation,
Mhm.
we have 6 people in the first group, and they're like, "All right, who's gonna? Is someone else gonna perform? Is someone else gonna do it?" And Hormona immediately is like, "I will not be in the same. I will be in the same group as Corey." Because every time I look at Corey, she looks down and scoffs at me, and I don't think she likes me that much. So I'm going to be in the same group as Corey because I do not want Corey judging me. And I'm like, honestly,
She's a smart
respect
queen.
Yep.
Smart
Hormona
And
is
also
smart.
the alliance. The
Period.
alliance that we had.
the
Wait.
alliance between Ariete and Lana.
Mm-hmm.
I was here for that
Smart
too.
girls.
Smart girls.
Look. Work I'm proud of them for doing what they needed to do to survive. I hate that the show put that on them.
I'm about to say, don't
I
hate the player,
know.
hate the game. That's what
Right.
it is. It's very
Right.
much don't hate the player, hate the game, because
No,
they
they're
just
smart.
played the game. Yeah, smart.
But
smart.
eventually, Myth Butthole decides she's going to join in on this week. We got next day in the workroom getting ready for the show and the runway. And we get back to back Emmy moments. And I was like, Jesus. It literally was like
So
duck,
many
dodge,
stories.
dive,
Whiplash. Like.
Like Matrix.
It's
What?
very
Oh my
Hershey the
God.
Courgette. Whiplash. Oh,
It
Lord.
was so much stories. I was like, wow, whoa. Okay.
and like strong, not like
Strong?
light,
No.
like superficial. No.
No,
Deep,
it was deep
like-
dive stories. Like,
No,
oh
we're
my
gonna
gosh.
talk about. Well, we started light. We started with a lovely conversation with Miss Acacia, who I will say, I'm liking a lot more than I did in the Meet the Queens. I'll say that too.
I
am-
agree completely.
Yeah, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, there's personality. Great. Because I'll be honest, no shade, Acacia. I think you're lovely. I didn't get a whole lot of personality from her in the Meet the Queens. Now, am I happy that she's on Team Logan? Absolutely. Am I happy because of this week? Absolutely not. But that is beyond the point.
Yep.
Because we'll talk about it. But she talked about how she's going to be doing a live singing performance. She's talked all episode about how she is the country singing diva. She wants to perform at the Grand Ole Opry. I was like, you better. Now you better. And I hope for that. I am manifesting that for her. But talks about how her grandparents had a bluegrass band growing up, and that's how she gained her love of music. And I was like, oh, adorable, love it. A bunch of people are talking about their
And then she
their
listed like
routines.
plus like 5+ instruments that she plays. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she mentioned all of them in her Meet the Queens too, and I was like, oh, okay, oh Lord.
She
okay.
wants us to know, and maybe we know.
Yeah. And then on the positive side, we'll keep it the positives for a second. We find out Susie's going to be doing a top dance number, and that she's been a top dancer for 10 years. That is what brought her love of the 20s and ultimately brought kind of her drag aesthetic. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That is who I fell in love with in this episode as well. As Miss Susie Toot is somebody I was
Miss
like,
Toot.
I said Miss Toot
she
did
was
not.
great.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like Miss Toot, but watching this episode, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna like Miss Toot. Miss Toot,
Yeah.
she does
Can I
it
say-
for me. She makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Can I say something? So I was out in drag at a bar in WeHo, and there was one person in like the group I was hanging out with watching who did not like Susie for some reason, and he was also a little so he was very annoying. And so at one point he said, "More like Susie, boo," and we all like kind of chuckled at it. This white gay, this awful human being, made the same joke probably 12 more times in the span of the next hour. He just kept more like Susie boo, more like Susie boo.
No.
And I'm like, I'm gonna
more
Susie
like
shoot.
Susie shoot.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna Susie shoot. Cause to
God.
that, hold on. To that gay, where is it?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going to use the trap door.
There are some people shouldn't be allowed to have opinions. If you can't have a nuanced opinion besides drunkenly saying the same sentence 12 times because you're a hating dumb little bitch. Sorry about it. Like, let's be nicer and more articulate.
Some people shouldn't have opinions, and those people are white twinks.
Oh, well,
I said what I said.
I said I didn't.
But yes,
say it.
then we get trauma. we talk about Jules is talking about her number, and we find out that she had a tumor in her spine at the age of 14.
Yeah,
she had to have 3 surgeries, and she has a bionic spine. I'm like, the girl is 22.
Hello?
I was like, what?
The girl is 22.
Good
The
for her.
trauma she didn't went through in her life so young is crazy.
Crazy.
Cool.
And
To
the
be
amount
where
of
she is
like,
now,
joy
too.
that she has now, like she's such a joyful, like bubbly, sparkly person. Like I fell in love with Jules this episode. I liked her before this premiere. This premiere just really, I fell in love. Literally, it's Jules.
Ding.
And personality. I mean, come on, confessionals
For days. For days.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. We also get a much harder story. I'll say that.
Oh my god.
We find out about Lucky. She was like, "Oh, this is the first time I've done makeup in about a year, because my stepdad blew his hand off with a firework."
And they
Thank
lost their
God the
home.
lip sync song wasn't firework
And-
this week.
Oh my.
Oh my god. Oh
Could
my
you
God.
imagine?
Especially if
That
they
would-
would have put
that-
Lucky in the
that-
top. If they would
That
put
wouldn't
Lucky
be
in the
Lucky.
top and made them sing Firework, I would.
Uh-huh.
No, absolutely. I wouldn't be here
No.
today. I'd be like, absolutely not. I'm done with the show
Did
right
Katie
now.
go
I
into
can't do-
Untucked?
Hmm.
She
Did
did.
Katie go into
She did.
Untucked and did Lucky say, "Hey, the song Firework means a lot to me"?
No.
What do you
No,
think?
no. Oh my God, that's
Okay,
horrible.
just be happy that Firework was used in season 12, so it's not going to be used anytime soon.
Mhm.
So
Let's just
Correct.
not even think about. Oh my God, stop.
And
No,
also, they're
'cause Lucky-
trying to make this song happen, and it's because it's not happening. They're trying though. They're trying.
Oh,
But
God.
Lucky,
We'll get there.
let's get back to Lucky
Yeah.
and their story. They lost their home because the stepfather was the main breadwinner of the home. They're all living in a friend's house in one bedroom, and it's hard. And she was like, "This money would change my whole life. We would be able to, get a home." I was just like, "Ugh, my heart is bleeding for Lucky. I want nothing but the best so Lucky can help their family. Like, come
Mhm.
on." Because that's a hard thing. I don't know about nobody else, but I have been to that point in my life where I didn't know where I was going to stay. And I had to sleep in a car trying to figure out where the next move is going to go. And so it's not fun to be homeless. It's not fun to not have a place to go to lay your head at night. And it's not fun to feel like you're being a burden to someone else in their home and you're a guest and you don't know when you're going to be able to leave. So I was just like, oh no, give them some peace of mind. Let them have a place to stay for themselves, for that family to have that peace. Peace is everything, and a house is peace. And if you don't have peace in your own home, then that's not a home. That's not your home. You need to go find your home where you can have peace.
And jumping ahead just ever so slightly to Untucked, my favorite moment of this entire span of the episode, Hormona, when they're sitting in Untucked talking, and Hormona's like, "Well, if you ever need a bed, like, we're sisters now. You're right there. You're in Florida. I'm in Tennessee. Like, I have an extra bed. Come stay with me." And I'm just like,
And she was like, and she made sure to say like, and I'm not just saying that because a lot of people
No.
like offer something, but then when you like, they're not.
yeah,
They're just trying to make you feel like say that in
Just
a
to
moment,
say
but they don't mean
something.
it. Yeah, and she was like, I mean it. Like, I'm serious.
yeah,
I love that.
I love it.
I love
I loved it. I loved it. We then get a cute little drag family tree moment. Because at the start of the episode, we find out that Sam and Jules are related. We get a reference to Jules' drag mother.
Chantel.
Say about her.
Oh.
But I do love that we've got this family relation, and then Trinity being in the start of the episode, and Sam being like, "I'm here with my drag mom, and we're gonna kill it." Cue Trinity getting pied. Loved it.
That was quintessential Squid Game moment this season because this brother duo was like, "My brother is here, and we're gonna make it all the way." And the next second, boom, his thing exploded and he died. The brother died, and he was like, "Oh, my brother's gone." I was like, so when that happened, I was like,
"It's very
I
telegraphed."
remember
Yeah,
that moment. It was such a good moment. So I love that they did that.
We have a lot of drag relations this season, right? We have
A lot.
Corey is sisters with Plain Jane, and then there's Sam is Trinity's daughter. Jules is Trinity's granddaughter, and Sam's niece. And then Lana is Lux's daughter, right? Is there anything?
Lana is Lux's daughter. Ariete is the drag daughter of Irene the Alien. Period.
And Lucky.
Lucky is the former. Thank you.
Okay,
former drag daughter of Miss Bonina Brown. We love to see that.
Love the ex-daughter part.
Yes. And it wasn't brought up in this episode, but Crystal Envy is drag sisters with Jasmine Kennedy.
Yes.
All right.
And it was brought up in this episode, but Joella is the drag daughter of Katy Perry.
What?
Right.
If you didn't know that, she made her actually.
She made her.
Oh, yeah.
She made her.
Wow. I would have
and
never
it was
guessed.
in this moment when they were discussing this that Lexi said, and I wrote the quote. She said,
Token
"I
quotes.
represent queens that have a past, and I
Yes.
live."
And that
Love
is
Miss
giving
Lexi.
that is giving just enough of your backstory in episode 1 to make them want to keep you. Lexi is playing the damn game, and I love it. I love.
Because now they like the producers already knew, but when they casted her, but we as an audience are like, okay, but what past is like? Everyone is intrigued. They're like, I want to know more about this past that you mentioned. You know what I mean? So she
ma'am.
is very. I see it.
Yep. And that was everything that happened in the workroom. So, without further ado, let's go. Katie looks good.
I love Michelle's outfit and hair. Michelle looks great.
Michelle looks great.
I actually didn't like Rue's dress that much. Just remembering this now. I thought that there was some sort of weird, like, it didn't feel like all of the fringe was moving together. And then one of the straps had fringe on it and the other one didn't. But then this strap's fringe wasn't moving. So it was just sort of like, meh. I would have preferred if it didn't go into the straps and just stayed in the bodice area. But I'm also not RuPaul or Zaldi, so shoot me.
Yeah.
Why does this picture look like they just magic grabbed everybody and put them on?
Because they did.
Because they did.
Because they did.
Okay, I'm about to say.
I had a huge problem with the stage this year. Their new stage.
Oh, the new stage?
I feel like there is so much shiny, glossy black on the stage in the backdrop that anybody that wore black hair or black in their outfits, it mostly just got sucked up and you really couldn't see any details, which can happen with black normally, but at least on the last stage, they had those bright pink walls in the background. This is a problem. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, meanwhile, I'm
saw
living for
that
the
too.
new stage. I'm living for the new stage.
I like the new stage, but I agree with Sugar with because we always miss
palette.
a lot of black on even on the last runway. We still had that problem, but this stage made that problem that already existed worse. Besides that, I live for the stage.
It needs more color. The color palette is just a little off for what they have, but it just needs a little bit more color to it to make it pop a
Or
little
they
bit.
gotta
But
work the lighting or something.
lighting, more light, something better. Something has to give.
Better MTV.
Do better.
Something different. Something different. Something
Do
else.
better. Do
But
better, MTV.
This panel looks fine. We can move.
Yeah. Let's talk about our talent show performances. We do have our rankings for the talent shows. We are also going to rate a queen, which is usually what we do, but it's just more fun to say that we're rating a queen. So let's go around, starting with Miss Jules Sparkles. Did we find the milk? That's what I would like.
La leche.
La leche.
La leche.
No, that was such a nice earworm to start out, and I'm like, and also it already made rounds on social media already. Of course, the doors that Nymphia opened, or rather,
the doors Nymphia Wind opened. Yes, God.
Or rather, Morphine and Tsunami and Geneva, because of the whole conversation.
Más leche. Yep.
Yes, and like, I really like Jules' performance. Like, you can tell how bubbly she is. Like, she brought the energy. And okay, I still need to bring this up because a lot of people still think that it is a not a talent for doing a lip sync number. But again, Jules wrote this, so I can like give that the pass. So.
Yeah.
And again, she was like so high energy with everything, and I was so happy to see how like she was gonna do this and like did the tricks, everything, and I just loved the whole milk carton of it all. Again, missing. Have you seen me? She was actually number 2 for me. So
yeah, I think she did really well. I loved the concept and how she didn't like try to overcomplicate it. She's like, boom, missing milk carton, the leche, wearing white, and like that's where she left that concept. She didn't need to go into it further. My milk is stupid tasty is a really funny line. I laughed very loud at that, and it's very hard to get me to laugh sometimes at Drag Race songs. I no real negatives. I'm just tired, and that's why I'm trying to find a sentence to say. But I also put it second. This was really, really strong.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this. I think the song was good. There were funny parts, like enough funny parts that it was not just a lip sync, like just a lip sync song. It had also humor with it, which I don't have a problem with. It just being a lip sync song, like a fierce song. But I do enjoy that she also put some comedy into it. And that with the performance, she also did like, I'm gonna do a little bit of comedy in the beginning, and then I'm gonna work it, and then I'm gonna do what I do. And she didn't overcomplicate anything. She had a concept and also a great physical performance. But my favorite part about all of this was the choreography, for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
I was entertained from beginning to end. I really enjoyed this. I liked two other performances better, but this was very good. So I had Jules at number 3.
I I think I agree with everything with what you said, River. I liked the fact that she performed a really good number. It was just really good. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining all the way through. It was funny. Overall, it was a good performance. It was no notes, like you said, Sugar. Nothing negative to say about this performance. It was really good. But she was third for me as well. I feel like it was two other performances for me that I just enjoyed watching a lot more.
Well, I don't mean to make this entire top row agree, but I also have Jules at number 3 in my ranking.
Love it.
For the exact same reason. I think there were two performances that I liked a little bit more, but I loved what Jules gave. There is a fluidity to the way that she performs that I'm really enjoying so far. And I love that we got to see it in both this performance and, spoiler, the lip sync later. There is an ease with which she moves, and there is an energy and a charisma that she has that just makes her so unique to this cast. Like, I'm saying it right now, do not be surprised if later this season she gets the "you were born to do drag" line. That, I'm gonna say it right now.
Mm-hmm.
She is the person, like, if anyone is going to get the line "she was born to do drag" on this cast, it's Jules Sparkles. Overall, I think the bit was funny. The performance was good. For me, she was number 3.
And
Yeah,
also, because none of us mentioned it, and I just remember, it's even more like it was good, but it's even more impressive knowing her backstory, literally backstory. It's made it even more impressive. So yeah, just
Yeah, what I was gonna say is born for drag. Hell, she was built for drag at this point.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah,
Literally.
Literally built for drag. Let's talk about Ariadne. Brandon, what'd you think?
Ariadne. So before we start, I forgot about the Ariadne character from Studio Ghibli, and I was like, that's where it comes from. I was like, I have to bring that up because, and I was like, oh my god, that's one of my favorite movies ever. So I just have to bring that up. Okay. There was something about Ariadne that I actually really liked about, and it's just how beautiful the talent was. Because like how she twirled that dress, and of course we did get some confessional moments from Anna be like, we can all twirl the dress, but which I kind of live for the comment, but at the same time though, I just love how beautiful she like twirled it, and it was very like pleasing to watch. Yes, it was just a little one note, however, I just love how beautiful it was, and it was like still one of my favorite performances to see. However, when it came to the rankings, this was hard, and I had to place her in 5th.
I'll be honest, I also placed her in 5th. I'll just say that now. But I mean, she looks gorgeous. I kind of disagree with Michelle when later they said they would have liked a different makeup on Ariete for this. I'm like, no, I still think that I think this still works with this look. I feel like, why can't this alien elven diva also be Latina? Why not? Michelle,
Right.
like, why are you so upset at that being a thing? Yeah, no, Michelle, what's wrong with that? Actually, Michelle, no, but I do think it's less that this was one note for me, and more that it was a very earnest performance. There was no tongue in cheek. There was no commentary on it or anything. She played it very real. However, she did not heighten it to anything. And we're going to talk about that for some of these. And go to Jules. Jules, her performance was quite earnest in terms of like being dancer. Yes, she did that. But like, you know, a little tongue-in-cheek lyrics every now and then. Ariete was just straight up pure normal performance. I hate saying that. It was normal. This is still a drag competition. There needs to be a bit more dramatics for me, and that's why I have a 5th.
Yeah, I agree. I think she looked beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. I love that she brought culture in the first episode. I always appreciate that. This is a type of that I do enjoy watching. But I agree with you, Sugar. As much as it was beautiful and she worked that dress fiercely. I wish she would have added another element to this, either in the beginning or in the end, like something else, maybe a theatrical element, or like maybe a little like skit, something in the beginning, some spoken, like anything, literally anything to just add to this beautiful performance. The only problem that I have is that it was one note, and it was good, just a little underwhelming, but still beautiful to watch. And I put her 6, unfortunately.
For me, see, I agree with everything y'all just said, honestly. I wanted a little bit more of the theatrics, and I was like, if you're going to do this flamenco kind of dance with the whole twirly of the skirt, I wish we would have saw a little bit more of that element. Like, bring out the castaneta, give me that da 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 da, and then you could have, at the beginning, give me a little bit of that, and then you could have took him off and then flared the skirt a lot. Like, I just wanted one more element on top of this. It didn't have to be a lot because, yeah, like you said, Sugar, this was so earnest. This was such a beautiful dance. It was beautiful to see it. She looked beautiful. She flared the skirt like she needed to. The cultural it was all very beautiful. But when you're going against a group that's going to do outrageous drag type things, the normal or the simple doesn't always stand out, and it needs a little bit more flair. I still thought it was beautiful. I still liked it more than I liked a few other people. So for me, it was I think she was 4th. I still liked it more than I like other people.
I love Ariete. I love Ariete dearly. I'm very excited to see more from Ariete. I have her at number 7, unfortunately. This was my least favorite. And it's difficult because everyone did well. That's the thing. It's like everyone, to an extent, did well in this performance. For me, the reason I have Ariete at 7th is simply just because it is the performance that I was the least grabbed by. It was a gorgeous performance, a gorgeous display of her culture and of a dance that I studied for years. I studied folklorico for years. Random little tidbit of information. So I might be a little harsh in that regard. It was gorgeous. It was a great performance. It didn't grab me in the way that I wanted it. I wanted it to be dragged up. I think we're going to get a lot of good dragged up moments from Ariete this season, so I'm not worried about it. But for me, unfortunately, on this occasion, she was number 7. Let's move to Lydia Butthole Collins, and that
She
is
looks
we are not going to be able to
beautiful
call her. She looks so pretty. Yeah, RuPaul is already obsessed with calling her Lydia Butthole Collins. Isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm
Is
very
her maiden
excited.
name Butthole?
I think so.
That was still one of my favorite moments.
The one time Carson Kressley made a good joke this episode.
Yes.
Good for you, Carson.
Yes. Lydia, you fucking bitch. Because I was like, when we first saw this puppet, well, I was like, what is happening? And I was like, what? And the way that this full comedy, like burlesque moment of it all, like just got to me. And then just the touch at the very end where you get to see Lydia herself and then strips the puppet. I died. Now I will say this, like, it was more the mouth that gave everything, like, still like the eyes though, but just the mouth. And then of course when she put her arm through the mouth, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, but love the touch. This was hard for me to rank because like really hard because there was another person that did just as good. So I actually have it tied for third.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
Funny enough, she actually looks more like Susie too in this mug right here.
Correct.
Well, you're not wrong.
She didn't even know she's gonna be there. So this was wild and deeply disturbing in fun ways. For me, it was a little sloppy in its presentation. I'll be like completely honest. Like she's a butthole, right?
Yes.
Right?
Well,
Like
yes.
she's why is the butthole's titties all the way down there? I didn't understand
Right?
that necessarily.
She's upside down. She's upside down.
What? Wait.
She looks it up. The boob, you know, the like boobs here, butthole here. You're upside down. But then the eyes, it doesn't make sense. I don't know.
I was like, it just
Is it
doesn't
supposed to
fit.
make sense?
No.
Is it supposed to make sense?
Unfortunately, because she has the reveal at the end, yes, she wanted it to make some sort of sense.
Right. Yeah.
For me, it just felt a little sloppy in execution, but the idea was so strong that I didn't mind that much. And I did love her coming out of it at the end and just looking gorgeous in blonde wig for no reason. Like, it's like nothing to look like the original butthole mug or anything. No, she just wants to look glam. Love it. Great. I think it was one of the stupider things that we've ever seen on a talent show. And I had it nicely in the middle at fourth.
Yeah, I was entertained in the beginning a lot. The mouth was doing everything that I needed it to do. It was funny. But then it didn't really go like after she got out of the puppet and she kind of lost me. The only part that was good after that was when she like revealed the puppet boobs. Like that was good. But it started on a high and it ended on a low, and I kind of want performances to do the opposite. Like you have, I rather if it builds up than starting high and then. But I still enjoyed it. It was funny. I laughed, and she looked beautiful. So I had this at number 4 as well.
I didn't like this. I didn't like it at all. I don't like puppets. Everybody knows I'm not a fan
I'm
of
not
puppets.
surprised.
But
don't like
Lana, everybody loves pop.
Except Lana. Except Lana.
me. I don't like puppets. I just never have. I never will. Unfortunately, that's just not my zhuzh. I don't like puppets. They freak me out. They creep me out. And this picture is really creeping me out. Don't like it. But I don't like in all fairness, it's not even because I don't like puppets why I didn't like this performance. I just didn't like the performance. I thought it was weird. It just for me personally, this kind of humor is not my humor. So these kind of jokes don't land with me. Like, I'm not a butthole girl. You're not gonna hear me talking excessively about buttholes and all kind of jokes. Like, that's not my joke standards. Like, that's not making me laugh. That's just making me go, okay. Like, I'm too grown for this. I'm 46 years old. I'm too grown for the butthole jokes anymore. I just can't do it. For me. That's not everybody else. And that's no shade to Miss Lydia. That's just not everybody's cup of tea, and you're not going to please everybody. So for me, this was 7th. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't care for it. I never laughed. And even when she came out and everybody was like, oh my God, it's so funny, bend over. I was like, please stop. Please and thank you. But that's just me. That's just my personal taste.
So you don't have a taste for butthole?
No, I don't like buttholes. I'm not a butthole girly. Like, never have I been. I don't mess with that area. Nobody messes with that area on me. I don't mess with the area for other people. I truly turn away from buttholes. That's just how I am. That's just me personally. Not my thing.
I mean, as they say, turn the other cheek.
Yeah, I do.
Can't relate, but good for you, gal.
Right.
Oh, would you be horrified, Lana, to know I have a butthole puppet also?
Should I find it? Want to see it? No.
Should I? Don't. No, it's so cute.
No.
It's so cute.
No. I will turn off my camera and walk away. I'm okay. Thank you. Never need to know that.
Miss Butthole, I thought did perfectly fine. I thought she did perfectly fine. It started strong. It ended strange, is the word I'm going to use to describe it. Like, it felt like, oh, I have this idea. I'm going to do this idea. I don't know how to finish this bit. That's what it felt like for me. It felt like a half-baked idea. And there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, the point of the talent show is to make RuPaul laugh. And you know what she did? She made RuPaul laugh. She understood the assignment. She got the assignment. For me personally, I have Lydia at number 5.
This performance was very, that meme of the horse drawing where it's like, it starts very good and then there's like a sketch.
Yep.
It's very that.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lucky Stars and her lemonade.
Lemon is quaking somewhere.
Lemon and Milk are quaking right now.
No, literally. I just love how Lucky, again, when we saw from her Instagram, just takes one concept and just like does a whole extreme to this, and I love this so much. Like, can we just talk about this outfit really quick? Because a picture on the head and lemon nubs as the butt. Like, also, I love this song so much. It's so contagious, and like the amount of the lemon squirts, that's an innuendo that I did not want. So, but at the same time, like, and of course, seeing Bryce trying to collect all that lemonade.
Why they gotta make the straight man do it?
I know.
Why did they have to make the straight man do it?
Why
I think
not?
he likes it.
I think he likes it. He likes lemonade. Everybody else
It
is
felt
allergic to
Golden
lemon.
Shower, like a hint at Golden Shower, though. That's I think
That's
that's
literally what it was.
I'm skipping you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, I was like very thoroughly entertained by this. However, there was one more that was much more entertained, and this is why I said this earlier with Lydia. This is tied with also my third.
All right, so they're like second, third together.
Third together. So
third. There's 2 more high.
Jules was 2 for me. Remember that?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
don't you remember Brandon's ranking, Sugar?
Like, aren't you paying attention?
Wow. How
respectfully
dare you?
Hey, respect that Carl is not as smart as Sugar. Okay.
Oh, right. Right. Sorry.
Got it.
You're
Carl,
right. You're right. Carl, what you think about this?
Thank you. Let me give you my Carl corner moment over here. So no, it was great, and I was nervous at first because it felt like she was looking away from the cameras at the very start of it. But then as the number progressed, it felt like she was getting the audience reaction, and that was really like, driving her through the end of it to the point where by the end of it, I was fully living. Love that her time for the makeup thing. She painted her eye crease, her cut crease, to be a lemon slice, like a lemon wedge. That's the part, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, it's the part right above the black eyeliner, that like the eyelid shape. She made her goddamn crease a lemon wedge. That is amazing. And we're talking about cheeks. She got cheeks for sure. God damn. This is truly just...
And on her ass.
You know, like we said about heightening, this is a number that heightened proportionally and correctly and never stopped having fun or taking itself too seriously. So I had this at, I believe, third. Yes, third.
Yeah, when she came in, I was immediately hooked with just visually. I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm interested. I'm watching. But then when she said, we're making lemonade, I immediately was like, I was scared because it took me back to Irene with the water. Yep. I was like, oh, please no. But then she immediately was like, nope, you can be safe. This is not what we're doing. And she delivered. The song was good. It was funny. The physical performance was great. I loved everything about this. The makeup, incredible. The lemons for the ass, squeeze them lemons. Squeeze the lemons. Look, and honestly, I don't know if it was just playing with the whole lemon thing or if it was supposed to be a hint to Golden Shower with what she was doing with the, maybe, who knows? If it is, that's just an extra layer that I enjoy, the joke. I don't enjoy Golden Showers. I enjoyed the joke. It's funny. But yeah, I really, really was entertained and enjoyed this from beginning to end. It was my second favorite.
This is my first favorite. Like overall, this was my favorite performance because I was entertained from, like you said, from beginning to end. When she walked out on that stage with the picture on her head and the lemons on her butt, I was like, sat. What are we doing? And then she said, we're going to make lemonade. I was like, ooh, what you mean? Hold on. What you mean? Because I don't want to be bored. And she started, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. And the lemons start squirting out. And I was like, this is what we're doing. Like, I loved it. I love that she had the pit crew member just out there catching the lemonade. I thought all the visuals of this performance was so theatrical, so on point. She looked like I wanted it to look. She performed like I wanted her to perform. And she was funny and entertaining. Like I laughed the entire time watching this. And when she turned around and started rolling her butt and the lemons was just, I was like, period. Mama, you ate this down. This was so funny. I was thoroughly entertained. I love this so much. My favorite performance of the night.
This was smart. This was funny. It was conceptual. It had a point. It had a Golden Showers reference. It had lemons in her ass. Like, concept to execution, 100% perfection. This was my favorite routine of the night.
Period.
And I'm genuinely upset we didn't get to see her lip sync as a lemon.
It's a lemon's world. And
I'm thinking now, because I was like, I'm not gonna do a tie. But honestly, I think I would have my first two tied. Like Lucky would be tied with my first.
Period.
If we can tie, I'm doing that. I'm doing that.
I'm not doing averages. I'm not David. So y'all can do whatever you want with your rankings. And
lovely.
I kind of was doing averages for us. I thought it'd be fun to see genuinely if we were the ones rating it. So I'm gonna not take any yours into consideration, River, because I already did a lot of math that I don't want to undo.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm just saying, like, if I had to pick my number 1 and 2, I would put Lucky at number 2. But in my heart,
She's
fine,
tied
yeah.
for first place.
Oh,
Gotcha.
you
But
did.
for
You-
technicalities, sure.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I did take in Brandon's split because I happened in the moment, and I was like, I can work that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, JOE, but don't forget.
Don't forget the Ella.
Don't forget the Ella.
Okay, so this was honestly fine. I wasn't like that grabbed by Joella's performance. Like Logan with how he wasn't grabbed by Ariadne, I wasn't grabbed by Joella. Like there wasn't anything else that Joella brought in addition to just the lip sync that she provided. Just like dance moves that like was really good. However, there was just nothing that really just grabbed for me. And Joella, you were 7th. I'm sorry.
Dang. It's hard to disagree, especially having watched Joella throughout the years, literally doing gigs and competitions with her, seeing her do basically that routine, like, and get so much praise for it because, yes, you're at the Abbey and everyone, it's like a very different venue, but this is a giant stage and you are quite short, Joella. So when you are just dancing and there's nothing else going on, all eyes are on you. It has to be the most spectacular dance number we've ever seen. And it wasn't that. It felt like she was got in her head a little bit. I think Katie kind of threw her off her game. I'm going to be completely honest. But Joe, without the Ella, don't forget the Ella. Very, very funny and cute. She is my 6th place is what I had. But it was kind of exactly what I expected Joella to do. And I hate to say it.
Well, I'm kind of on the same page because I don't think anybody out of this group did bad or flopped, but Joella was for sure my least favorite, and the performance that I looked away and it didn't really grab me. I caught myself thinking about other things and like wanting to do literally anything else other than it. It just didn't. It was. I think it's because I didn't like the song. Because the performance, like I said, the performance was not bad. It was a fine, average in a good way, like a solid, average, regular lip sync performance. Good. Nothing out of this world. It was fine. But I think because I didn't enjoy the actual song, I think that detracted even more for me, for being able to enjoy it. She looked good though. I like this outfit. I like this hair. She looked great. But it was underwhelming for me. She was my number 7.
Joella was my number 6 because I felt like, yeah, she was my number 6. It was fine. It was good. You know, the Joe, don't forget the Ella is always going to be something you remember because it was catchy. You remember that part. But that's all you remember because I feel like the outfit, the look itself was just fine. Nothing spectacular about it. And I agree with you, Sugar. She just felt very small on that stage. And it was nothing like, and you just followed. You just followed Lucky, who just gave us so much theatrics and all this stuff on the stage. And then it's just you doing bop, 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 bop. And it's like,
yeah.
We've had
was even
tiny
like-
dancing divas destroy that stage. Like
Right.
we've had George's recently. Marina Summers did that whole thing at the end. But what did Marina do? She went, okay, I've danced for a while. I've done all that on my own. Now I get out the props and I do a big moment there. And it's like she literally like took off her cape and made her so tiny and then didn't add anything.
It was just not a lot happening. It was like, okay, I think she needed something, some prop, something to make you go, oh, okay, girl, I see. It just didn't take up as much as the stage as I wanted it to. And the song itself was just fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. So she was number 6.
Yeah, I also have Joella at 6th here. Mostly because I've had JOE, but don't forget the Ella stuck in my head. honestly.
Yeah, same.
It's a catchy line. Why is it Joe but don't forget the Ella instead of J?
Right. J-O.
Hey,
Don't forget
and
the
don't
Ella.
forget the Ella.
But don't forget the Ella. I was
Damn.
a little
Damn.
like, but like,
Yeah.
and then girl didn't. I honestly, I agree with you, Sugar. I think Katie being there got in her head because she missed some of the words to her own song.
Her own
too.
song.
Like, it really did feel like it threw her off in the worst way, and I hate that for her because
Same.
obviously this was such a big moment for her that I wish it had turned out better. But I will say, yeah, I think for me, Joella was number 6. Let's talk about Acacia. Forgot.
Oh, Acacia, I love this so much because, like, unfortunately, it's gonna be like well over my ranking for this. But the thing was, like, she actually sang live. She actually had her her charm. Like, again, you wouldn't expect an LA girl to do country, but it's great, which I love. Now I will say, like, the song, like, I thought her song like was fine. I wish there was like a little more lyricism, but it sounded great. Like, I was actually like more attached to that, like, a little more. It's been so weird to think about, like, what type of song that she was gonna do, because like we didn't know if she was gonna do like we heard the bluegrass, but we didn't know it was gonna be guitar, banjo, like what have you. But though I wish like she could have like been a little more peppy, because all like it did look like she was a little like deadpan a little bit. So but I did like the song a lot. But unfortunately Acacia was 6.
All right, she was this is my last place, and there is a big reason why, and that is because I am a musical comedy genius. I'm so sorry about it, but I happen to write and record my own original musical comedy songs. This is my language. This is my love language, basically. And there's just so much I would change about what she did. Earnest, way too earnest. And Brandon, thank God you said it. Lyricism. What are we doing here? What show are you on? Why are you singing a song that is just kind of almost barely a little dirty? I'm sorry, Lydia was a fucking butthole 10 minutes ago. What show are you on? So I needed a tongue-in-cheek song about I'm talented in case you forgot. I can play the banjo in case you forgot. Like, there's just so much that she already has going for her. And so, like, if you're gonna sing a song about riding a dick, sing a song about riding a fucking dick. If your name is the case you forgot, lean down that way and hit that game hard every 5 seconds. You don't have much time left. This was such a wasted opportunity, and I'm mainly ranting because I'm high, so I'm gonna calm myself down. But yeah.
No, but you're not wrong though. Like, I'm not as passionate as you are clearly about this.
Thank God for that.
Musical comedy is what I'm passionate about, and we'll get to Susie later to talk about how she did it right.
Right. But I'm not as passionate, but I do agree with every point that you made. It is like she had a funny beginning and a funny end. The middle was fine. The singing was good. The guitar playing was good. It was all technically a good performance. Was it entertaining though? Is the question. In the beginning, in the end, yes. The middle, literally could have not existed, and it would make no difference. Like, it was funny that she started. I think it was she was trying to make a joke of like, I'm actually playing the guitar, like it is plugged in. I think, and I enjoyed that. And then in the end, she had like the lyric. She had a little joke in the lyrics, and that was good. But like you said,
can you say
the wasted opportunity? No, I don't remember what it was. I just remember that I chuckled. That's it, right?
It's not like I'm kind of a bitch. Melita Perra. It's not that hard to write a catchy, quick little line. Like,
yeah. And with all the music experience that she says she has, I'm like, maybe she could have gotten a person that is good at comedy to help. Like, she could have done the music part, and she maybe could have gotten someone to help her to make it funny and make it extra for Drag Race. Because similar to Joella, if I saw this performance anywhere else, like at a club or whatever, I would have enjoyed it. For the talent show at Drag Race stage, it's not enough. It's good, but it's not enough. So Acacia for me was number 5.
Yeah, she was my number 5 as well. I am very passionate about music. Everybody knows music is my thing. I'm very passionate about music. Musical comedy, maybe not as much, but music for sure. So she was 5 because what she did musically was good. She sang live. She played live. That was technically really good. One of the better voices that I've heard on Drag Race as far as live singing. She has that going for her. Like, she can sing, she can play, she can do country music. Now, the thing about this is this talent show is for Drag Race, and you have to be funny. You have to, if you're going to sing live, either you have to be funny and make folks laugh, or you have to sing the house down boots on any other song that make them go, oh, this girl can sing. And the problem is, she felt like she was performing her at somebody's showcase of somebody looking for a background singer to help on their demo on their record. And it's like, I don't have to give you stage performance. I just have to sound good. No. And that's no shade to her, because she was singing to sound good. She wasn't singing to be the headliner. Because if you're singing at a showcase to be the headliner, you're going to give stage presence and a show. She did not have stage presence in that moment. She parked and barked in the worst way possible. She parked and barked like, I'm just gonna come and sing my song. I got a good voice and here it comes. This is what I'm doing. And I'm playing the guitar well. And it's like, that's boring. I needed you to be like, this is what I'm doing. I'm playing the guitar. And you running and ripping and you clearing these bitches with all of your stuff. I need a musical performance to be just that. We just watched Beyonce at the halftime show in on Christmas Day. And if you're going to be a headliner, baby, you have to headline. You didn't have no dancers. You just stood there and was like, I'm gonna sing my song. I'm gonna do what I do. You didn't have nobody two-stepping behind you. You ain't had no nothing. I just wanted a little bit more from a musical performance. And even if you're going to park and bark it, you have to park and bark it with some intent. But she was my number 5 because she can sing and because she can play.
Wouldn't it have been so cute if her backup dancers were like acting out the dirty lyrics that she was singing to like make up the difference for what the lyrics weren't saying? Like,
like behind the riding the bull, riding each other, like literally they should have been.
And she could be like, I directed that. That was my bit. And like, claim ownership of that.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say, because I agree with every single thing you all have said. I think what happened with Acacia, and we heard this in her Meet the Queens, and we heard it a little bit in this episode, she's very used to performing in country music venues. She doesn't perform in queer venues very often. So she is used to, and this is nothing against her specifically, it's just the lane of drag that she is going down.
Totally.
She is used to having to water down the gay experience for a more predominantly straight audience. And that is what this song was and what this performance was.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but like you all said, this is Drag Race and we needed something a little bit bigger, a little bit grander. With all of that being said, I still have her number 4 because for me, this was the single best live singing performance I think we've ever had on Drag Race.
It's hard to disagree.
Technically speaking, the only other person that comes to mind is Trixie. And I'm not saying it because they both sing country music. I'm saying it because Trixie's vocal when she did her talent show was good. I think Acacia technically had the best live singing performance I've seen on Drag Race. And I'm going to give her flowers for that. Do I wish the
Vocally,
performance
yes.
was a little bit bigger and a little bit grander? Absolutely. I love the idea that you have, Sugar, of like having the background dancers. I wanted it to feel gayer. She's singing about gay shit. I wanted it to feel gayer. It didn't feel very gay for me. And that's all I wanted. I just want a little bit more gay. It's Drag Race. I want a little bit more gay.
I can imagine
more
that
stage
song in that.
presence.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, I could imagine that song in that Billy Eichner Bros movie that came out, where it's like, wow, let's write this gay song for the straight people so they can kind of get it.
Yeah,
It felt like she was performing for the wrong audience. Like this talent was not made for us.
And the thing about it's like it wasn't bad. She just needed more stage presence. Even the look in her face was kind of, I'm gonna sing my song and I'm just doing it right. And it wasn't giving anything. Like it was no layers of personality even in her song. And that's the problem. There was no personality behind the song. But the vocals sounded good. The guitar playing sounded great. It just was no personality behind it.
Logan, do you think that she's better than Monet Exchange singing opera live?
Oh, well, then never mind.
She is a good singer. I'm just saying, Monet.
Oh, I forgot about genuinely.
Safari
Crystal on UK6.
Fuck my entire.
Safari Crystal
is singing though. So Release, I don't think.
What?
Oh, the Adele thing. You're right.
Yeah.
See, I'm sorry.
Anyway, we have a lot of great singers. A lot of great singers.
Okay, whatever.
Strike that from the record. We'll strike that from the record.
Strike that from the record. Cut that. I'm not going to cut it. It's me who would have to cut it. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Let's just move on to our last person, Suzanne Elizabeth Toot.
Yep, Suzanne Elizabeth Toot. And yes.
Elizabeth Toot.
This performance was a shoot. I was very, 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 very pleased because it took me back to my dancing days, like back when I was really young. I was just like, oh my god, tap dancing, this was everything. And I'm gonna tap the Gettysburg Address. Like what? Like what? Like in Morse code, I was like
Morse code.
Dumb bitch.
Just like I was like, that was like the one thing that like tickled my fancy. I was like, what? Like this comment is everything, and just made. And this is why this is my number one.
It's honestly more than okay for me to make, because it's also my number one. And that, let's just talk about that line, because that could work in any fucking show. That is such a funny fucking bit. Tap dancing a speech in Morse code, like truly book Susie Toot to write on a sitcom now, because that is actually just smart comedy. And that's what Susie gives. Susie gives intelligence. We're going to talk about that lip sync later, but I'm on the side that Susie did enough to keep up with Jules personally. I know the internet doesn't agree, but I just think that this is a mind to watch. She knows what she's doing. Looks great. Yeah.
From concept to execution, everything just worked. The starting off the bat with the 9 toes joke, bitch.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Listen. A girl, she had me from I didn't know what to expect. When she said that she was tap dancing, I was like, okay, I enjoy watching tap dancing. That's fun. That's cool. But I was wondering, like, okay, what is she going to add to the tap dancing to make it fitting for this challenge, for this stage? And truly, she gagged me. She gagged me. It was so smart. She sounded great also on the track. I know it was a produced track, but it was her voice and she sounded really good. I don't know how it is live, but I enjoyed the recording. She looked great and it was funny, theatrical, camp. This was my number one, period.
I love this. From the moment she came out and was like, because I was like, I don't know, tap dancing is, you can go either way with tap dancing. It can be very cool and but it could also be very boring and cheesy. But when she came out and said, "With my 9 toes," she had me at 9 toes. I was like, this girl, this stupid woman, and I love it. And then she said, "I'm gonna tap out the Gettysburg Address in Morse code," and was so serious and put the hand on the and said,
And the
tap,
feet, the one feet.
and then her foot said, "Ka-tap, tap, tap. Ka-tap, tap, tap. Ka-tap." I was like, you stupid woman. I love you so much. I could not stop laughing. My face hurt. I watched this this performance like 5 times. Between her and Lucky, those were the 2 I constantly watched over and over. And I literally watched them right before this recording. Because I had to see it. It was so funny to me. She was tied for my number 1 spot. Like, her and Lucky tied for my number 1 spot. I could not just give anybody number 1 or in the number 2 because they both deserve number 1. They ate this up for me. Loved it.
I mean, look at the material. That's all I have to say. For me, I liked the ingenuity and the lemon a little bit more than the toot on this occasion. So I did have Miss Susie's toot, Miss Suzanne Elizabeth Toot Dupree St. James Davenport at number 2. Because that feels the most correct. So well, that's the talent show. Do we have
our rankings? Yeah. So if we were the ones watching the other side and getting to rank it, we would definitely have Susie still in our top spot. However, by 3 points, Lucky would have overtaken Jules if we were ranking this, which it's kind of hard to disagree with. I do think that Lucky's was more interesting. I think that Jules, though, delivered with a capital C, which is, I mean, that's literally what the show is about. So it's hard to argue with it. And our bottom, we would have, instead of Acacia, we would have Joella. Sorry, Joella.
Yep.
Ariete and Acacia actually tied. They shared that second to last place together. So.
All right. Well, this is the moment that we get no critiques from the judges. And honestly, I was thankful for it. So that way we didn't have to hear more of Miss Perry.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
we kind of
they were too busy tapping out "I Have a Dream" speech in Morse code. So
Not "I Have a Dream."
Oh my god. I want to know if
When
they
she
already had
said
the first part of the line written and then they added the Morse code bit, or the writers were like, ooh, after that, let's make that the
right. It had to be a thing.
I literally think it had to be in the moment. Like
It had to be.
It had to be, but
they
the
still
fact that
they
they
still
did
gave
it was
comments. They still gave comments.
just not
They
to
did.
them, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
It was just the let's not make the audience listen to us positive, like just give positive things to them every. Gosh.
Right.
The first episode when no one's going home and they're just like praise gushing. I hate that I don't like watching them praise gush.
Yeah,
It feels evil of me
I'm
to
not
say.
entertained by this. I'm not
because
entertained by this.
because I know it doesn't mean anything. I'm like, cool,
Exactly.
great. There's no stakes in this.
It's inconsequential, so it's like
yeah.
whatever.
You know what I did appreciate though, and this is going to be my only praise that I give Katy Perry. I did appreciate the fact that she, even though she knew Joella very well and was like, this is somebody who I know, this is who I made her. She was very honest about the performance and was like, it could have been more, because if she would have sat there and been like, this is the best thing ever, I'd be like, okay, Katie, now what bias show are we watching here? Because everybody saw what we saw. So that is my only praise I will give Katy Perry. She was honest.
Yeah.
She actually was judging in this moment and was very honest about her judging.
Objectively speaking, she was a good judge. Objectively speaking, She was a good judge. She knows how to judge. She does.
She stayed
She's
she
not
stayed
all
out of the
American
way
Idol.
for the most part.
Yes.
Yeah. She knew what she was there to do. And she gave, and I do love, and let's move to Untucked really quick. I do love that she went back and gave everyone a little bit of individualized critique. Now, it wasn't nearly as good as Lady Gaga on season 9, but it was still something. And I did appreciate her at least doing that. So, you know.
I liked it for the girls. Like,
Yes.
I'm happy for the queens. But
Yeah.
when she came in, it was the moment where I put it on 2 times speed, and I was like, please, please let this be over, please.
My favorite part of
Because
Untucked
it came
is
right
Lana.
when we were having a good Untucked moment. Like, things were happening in Untucked, and then it got cut off by her coming in to give whatever, to say whatever she said. I don't care.
And getting hit.
I don't care.
And getting hit
as a
by
viewer,
Lana's tail.
Yes. Hit by the tail.
I'm on it. Can I? Sorry,
yes.
the whole just the guest stars going into Untucked thing. I'm sorry, Gaga, but like you should have been the last because it just disrupts the flow so much to have it be an every episode occurrence, even for people who I'm sorry, you're not worthy enough. You're not a legend enough. I'm sorry. Like I mean, sometimes I don't mind. Like Hannah Eidenberger from Hacks. I don't mind because you're a great personality and you're going to bounce off of anybody no matter what. But it slows down the arc of the show we're on. So,
But like
no,
Becky
I don't,
G.
I don't need to watch a Becky G meet and greet.
We don't need these segments. I think they can still do that for the girls, for the queens that are there. I don't think they will if they're not filming though. But or if they're not showing it on the show. But me as an audience, I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't like it.
Like you said, because they wouldn't do it off camera. I don't want to see it on camera. Which is ironic because that's basically RuPaul.
Yeah, I felt that way about I don't know their name, but the dude, the singer with the mask. I was like, why are you?
Orville Peck.
I mean, he's great, but I didn't need his segment in the back. Like he could have just stayed in the judging thing and just did their judging thing. Because I agree, it breaks up the flow of what is actually happening in Untucked. Like they could be. What if they're in the middle of an argument or they're in the middle of some back and forth, and then the celebrity shows up. It's like, oh, hey.
Oh my god! Remember season 12 during the Snatch game when there was like that weird Gigi Heidi fight, and then Jonathan Bailey and Daniel come in, and they're like, "Hey," and it's just weird. It's just, no one's comfortable.
It's awkward for the guest judges as well. Like if that is a situation that they walk into, like that's uncomfortable and awkward. And if I was a guest judge, I wouldn't want to walk into a space like that, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, if I was in the bottom 2, I wouldn't want to be spending 20 minutes talking to Katy Perry. I want to go get the iPad.
It's like I need to go
petition to stop the guest judge segment in Untucked.
And
it's done.
Brandon, make it work.
Brandon,
wrap it up.
Unless you are a mother. If you are a mother, you are allowed. If you are mother, like Maya Rudolph, she's allowed. Like I don't like I'm okay with that. Kamala Harris, you're more than welcome to come backstage. Like your mother.
Doechii next week, more than allowed.
Sure, great, love it. If you're not mother, and sorry, Katy Perry, you're not mother.
No.
It's not even on.
Why?
But like if Cher's are there, absolutely. Like if Beyonce ever shows up, yes, of course.
But not in Untucked. I think they should do it like in the workroom before, like not in Untucked.
Yes.
Not in Untucked. That's my point.
I actually fully agree with that because they haven't. Imagine sitting there with the results. You just did bad, and now you have to like try to put on your best face when actually you have psychological damage happening at the same time.
Katy Perry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
But let's talk about this. The main part of Untucked. Everything else. But mostly these week 2 girls are going around being like, all right, who was the worst? And by the week 2 girls, I mean Corey is stirring the pot, and I live.
Corey is giving me the messiness that I need, that I want. I am living for Miss Corey. She was like, I'm not. She said, I'm not being featured in this first episode because I'm performing next week. So I'm gonna make sure that I get my camera time.
Smart.
It's like
she
she's
did.
all the. It's like she's all the good parts of Plain Jane.
No,
Honestly.
literally.
That's what I was about to
Literally,
say.
though.
I was literally about to say she is doing what Plain Jane wished she could have done. She is pulling off the shadiness, but in a way where it's not annoying and offensive. Like,
Because-
she is so shady.
Yes.
Plain is so pompous about it.
Yes,
And there's just none of that in Corey's. Corey, it's almost like even if this all blows up in her face, Corey wouldn't care either way as sort of the energy. Well, Plain, anytime someone bothers Plain and gets under her skin, she is so aggravated and needs to like do something.
Mhm.
No, I don't think Corey would give a fuck at all.
Corey is just she's unserious. Like she doesn't take it too seriously.
In
She
both
knows how to
directions.
Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, that's the nature of my people. We are so unserious. We don't care about a whole lot of stuff. And if we are going to be stupid, baby, we are going to be stupid in the best way possible. And everything is unserious. Everything is a joke. And she ran around there and she's just like, look, I'm about to stir the pot. Even her this little disdain of Hormona, it's still unserious. I don't think she cares that much either way.
No.
But it's just, I was living for Corey in this moment, just like, so who do we not? Who did the worst? Say their names. Say it. I was just like, continue. You continue, mother. Do what you do. You do what you do.
But
I'm going to enjoy her.
Even before, because I think we're gonna get into like the whole who did the worst, all of that. But before Corey started stirring the pot, everyone was like complimenting each other. They were like happy, like, oh, we all did so good, whatever. And then I live for Miss Lexi. They cut to Lexi Love in confessional, and she was like, "Girl, I know you guys. Like, if you were watching this in any club, you would be like, let's go take a smoke break." Like, she was so she was so real for that. She was like, you guys are fake. The fakety fake.
She was not living. She was not here for the kumbaya moment. She was like, y'all are being so fake right now, because if we were out, we would have been like, this is the worst performance ever. I'm about to go to the bar. Anybody want something? Like, nobody would go sit there and watch that. Nobody would watch that. And I love the realness of Lexi in that moment, because yes, we are sisters and we should support each other, but this is also a competition and we should be honest. Some of y'all, not that great.
Nobody was really wanting to be honest, like,
because of the Raider Queen. Everybody is trying to preserve their spot in this Raider Queen, and that is where I feel you should. And that is where I'm like, this is taking away from the drag competition of Drag Race, because nobody wants to say anything, because they know if either they're getting rated this week or they're going to get rated next week. And they're trying to preserve their friendships, and so nobody will feel like, oh, you voted me, you don't like what I did, I'm gonna do that to you just out of spite and pettiness. So I'm glad this is only these next 2 weeks, and then we will be done with the Raider Queen, so people can start being more honest and real about what they think.
Yeah.
And Corey was really trying with Lydia, especially, and she was like,
yes,
say their names.
Lydia
was so
not
uncomfortable.
any of it though, and I live. Lydia's like, I'm not telling you. I'm not giving you this information so you could use it against me later. Smart girl.
Right. Smart girl.
Smart girl, Miss Butthole.
But then Corey found a way, and this is where Corey was being messy. Because she asked, like, who did the worst? And then Lydia didn't want to answer. And then Corey was like, okay, who did the least good?
Right. I'm gonna get
the worst.
I'm gonna get the tea out of you. It's one way or another. It's the
and then
mess.
Lydia was like, well, this person was not as exhilarating. Like, she didn't want to say that she didn't like it. She was like,
yeah. Corey's giving the mess in the best possible way that I want on Drag Race. It's the fun mess. It's the like. I love Corey. Love Corey.
Yep.
We'll see how she reacts next week when it's her turn.
She was the highlight of Untucked.
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna
I
see
wanna see
how
next
if I want to see next week if she's going to be as unserious and silly, or is she going to be more like plain Jane and get aggravated if people are not living for her. So
Mm.
I hope
Wanna
it's.
see.
I hope it's.
We shall
you know,
see.
we'll see.
We shall see. But let's talk about our results. So we get 4 girls called safe, and immediately I was like, well, we know who's in the bottom this week. And that bottom one is Acacia Forgot.
Or as Ariete referred to her in Untucked, the last one.
The last one.
Oh, damn.
Not
The
that
last
these two
one.
over there.
And then later, when they're in the
the
other
last-
conversation, and she's like, "Who's that?" I was like, "No, don't do this to
No.
Acacia. No, they literally forgot about Acacia. Forgot."
Oh my god.
Because she did a bad job of
last
branding
one.
herself. I'm sorry.
yes,
Yeah.
she did not brand
So-
herself perfectly.
For a country
But
queen, she's not
honestly-
that country. For a
Yeah.
She
drag
didn't
queen,
put
she's not that
the
drag.
C U N
No.
in country. Yeah.
In
But
country,
hey.
no, she did not.
She is maybe in the most advantageous position possible because
Yes.
she's going into next week knowing
Knowing.
she is lip syncing
Yep.
for her life.
Mhm.
Yep.
And she's
She's
gonna
like, give me the
vote
track. What's the track? What's
thinking-
the vote?
Yep,
Vote
and she's
thinking
gonna
who
vote
is
like thinking who she wants to lip sync against. Yes.
Yep.
Or
Oh my
doesn't
God.
want to
I
lip sync
hope
against. Yeah,
she
very bad.
is strategic the house
Mhm.
next week with like, okay,
Yes.
who do I want to lip sync against? I'm putting her last. I hope she is. I hope
Oh,
she
I
is.
am ready for that. I am ready
I
for
hope
that.
Oh
she is.
God,
I
and there's
hope
some
she
big
plays the
people.
game.
It's
Oh
some huge,
God,
yeah.
Lana, Lexi, Corey.
Lana, Lexi, Corey,
Anya,
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 Hmm.
Crystal.
Hormona and
Ramona.
Crystal,
Ramona and Crystal. Yeah.
Ugh,
and
I think
Sam.
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 Thank you.
Yes.
I
Oh
would-
God, next week is Sam.
Yeah.
if
Oh,
I
yeah.
was Acacia, and I'm just saying this now, like of those people, I would probably want
Hormona.
Hormona in the bottom,
Yeah,
Yep.
just because everyone else is such like terrorizing dancers.
Yep.
yeah.
And Anya feels like a super charismatic person. Not that Hormona doesn't, but I would put my own money against trying to best Hormona in that stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the
Absolutely.
song though. But
And it
yes.
depends on the
It
song.
really depends on the song. Yeah.
Which brings the
Um,
question: are we gonna get 2 lip syncs next week?
No, I think just one.
Oh, no, because the top 2 lip sync and then
This top 2.
Oh
might
yeah,
be,
we probably
right.
do get
then
two.
why
lip
have a
syncs.
top 2 lip sync this week if you're not going to have what
Yep.
I've heard
I
is
think
that there
we'll
are
have
2
to.
lip syncs next week, so we will have 2
Yeah,
Oh, I
lip
like
that
it.
would make
Okay.
sense. That would make
Um,
sense.
But let's talk about our lip sync for this week. Our top 2, Jules and Susie. Not mad. Not mad.
Not mad.
It could have
Not mad.
been lucky, but not mad.
Yeah.
Not mad. And unfortunately, these are the 2 girls that were subjected to having to lip sync to Woman's World.
Oh.
To this song.
It's like she went into
I mean,
a list of adjectives and nouns and said, "This is verse 1." And
this song
Yeah.
was AI generated. I am almost sure. Like
I am
if it's
confident.
not, it sounds like it was. Period.
she's a girl.
It's horrible. I hate this song. I hate this song so much. And
I
also the
never
fact that
heard
it was
this song.
the producer of this song.
Oh, well, yes.
The song is not good, and the fact that it was that one producer that I'm not,
Mhm.
we know,
God.
and also,
Mhm.
the way that she tried to do the music video that completely backfired and did the complete opposite of what she was trying to do. Like this was just a mess, and I was very sad for the girls that this was the lip sync song, and they did the best that they could with this horrible song.
With what they were given.
Yeah.
I have actively avoided this song. This is the first time I've ever heard this song. I have actively avoided it. I did not want to engage with this song. I engaged with this song because I physically had to. With that being said, these girls did the best they could with what they were given. And overall, honestly, I thought it was a pretty good lip sync. Like they're both really good lip syncers. So
Mhm.
No, yeah.
For
was a
this
good lip
horrible
sync.
song, the lip sync was good.
I genuinely think if it was different lyrics, it wouldn't be as bad. Like, there's nothing truly like awful about what's happening musically, but I'm sorry with lyric. She's a sister. She's a
Sexy,
mother.
confident.
She is heaven sent. So soft, I am so soft, so strong. So I relate to that lyric a lot. I am also so soft, so strong. It's so badly written. It's crazy.
it's so bad.
I had never. Go ahead, Sugar. You were saying I cut you off.
I just it was just petering off into. I also I think that Jules could have won this lip sync. This really could have gone either way, whatever Rue felt like. Because Jules was giving the dance the moment, giving, and like it was an earnest interpretation of it. But if you're gonna do earnest on Drag Race, do it as good as that. Like if you're not gonna try to be comedy or anything. However, if you're not going for that, if you're gonna go the other direction, do what Susie did, which is stare a dagger into Rue's eyeball with the nerve of 1,000 suns and just give it all. I loved how Susie basically said, I'm going to let Jules do what she does verse 1, and then the second chorus comes in and I'm taking this number. And that's what she did for me.
Literally, I never heard the song either, Logan. I'm like you, I've never heard it. Don't know what it is. Don't know the backstory behind the story. I don't listen to Katy Perry. Let's just be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't listen to Katy Perry. And if the song don't come on the radio, I wouldn't know it was Katy Perry. So yeah, never have. I know. It's shocking. But I liked how they interpreted the song, even though it was a wild, crazy, not that great song. Jules was like, okay, I'm finna give it to you. I'm about to turn it out. I'm gonna give you the tricks, the splits, the dips, the dance. I'm gonna be very auntie about everything. I'm gonna whip my hair around. I'm gonna do all that. And it was all good. And it was like, okay. And in the beginning, I'm like, okay, Jules is about to take this. She's about to eat this stage up, and I love it. But Susie did the smartest thing, because it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. That's what we remember the most. And Susie took that second verse and was like, number one, I'm going to do something so different that nobody's going to be like, wait, what? We go always remember. Then number two, she was like, this isn't about who's making this decision. It ain't the girls, it's Rue. And I know Rue is going to be the one to make this final call. And I already got her once earlier with my Morse code in the Gettysburg Address. So now that I know what makes Rue laugh, I'm about to, like you said, stare her down like 1,000 suns. And she was like, I'm about to give you this second verse in Morse code. Tappity tap, 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 tappity tap. And Rue, at that moment, Susie won the lip sync. It was nothing else that needed to be done, because Rue was like it was over. And Jules was still killing it, but there was nothing else Jules could do. There was nothing else Jules could do, because Susie had taken it and won it with just a stare. And that is how you do it. You have to know who you are, who your audience is. And Susie does that so well. And I was like, she won. And I wasn't mad about it. I was like, because I laughed too. I screamed when she did it. I started screaming. I was like, yeah, this woman just won this lip sync just with that alone. That's it.
And then she still gave a good twirl. She gave a Charleston. The Charleston, the leg was flying all the way to her side. I was like, damn.
Yeah, like that stare in the Charleston is what did it for me. And I'm like, and like, it is so smart too, because again, do what you could with the song. And obviously they both made it their own.
Yes.
It could have gone either way for me as well. Like I enjoyed both of their approaches. It's just like what you like personally, because they both did great in what they attempted to
do.
I honestly, one thing that I forgot to mention, because I wrote down, because it's about the bottom result. When Acacia was called in the bottom, it cut to her confessional being plucked and she said that she was mad because she's one of the only people that showed a true talent.
We didn't show enough of it.
What do you mean? What do you mean? One of the only
Singing.
people that showed true
Singing.
talent.
She didn't have. She
Singing.
wasn't
I know, but
recording and
Beyond
lip-syncing.
I know,
a
but
true
that-
talent,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
taking it as a true talent other than what drag queens do, which is lip syncing. That's how I
Lip-sync.
took it.
I did too.
It's
No,
hard-
I know that's
I
what
could
she
s-
meant. I know it's
I
what she
could-
meant, but I don't like when people say that. Is my
That's
thing.
fine.
But I
could see
understand.
her feeling some
she
type of way
means.
about Lucky's number
Mhm.
because outside of the look and squirting things and shimmying every now and then, I would argue it's the least amount of like physical effort happening during a number. However, the talent was the preparation and the planning and the timing of that number, which is
Is
Yeah.
physical
a big.
comedy not a talent?
I think
You know what I
that's
mean?
the only thing that Acacia was I could actually argue. I think everyone else displayed a like legitimate talent. So I think the talent show, we need to stop looking at talent as a special skill and more as a showcase
Exactly.
of what you are.
Showcase, right?
A
and I
showcase
think
of a skill, because talent is. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think as someone who does live performances, if I'm doing my live performance and then everybody else behind me is lip syncing, I'm gonna feel like my talent was true talent. Not saying that their talent isn't true or good. It's just I worked hard to do a live performance. My it wasn't pitchy, it was on point. I played the guitar. That I think in that aspect, that's what she meant. It came off a little, and she's in her feelings. I get it. I understand. When you are
The feelings
last,
are valid.
the feelings are valid. And I think she was in her feelings when she said it. I think if she looked back, she was like, oh, that kind of came off a little petty and rude, because that what everybody did is still talent. It's still true talent. But in her moment of feeling vulnerable and last, she's like, ugh, I did true talent. I actually sang live, which is one of the hardest things to do. It's easy to get up there and lip sync and dance if you can do it right. Now, some people can't do it. Look, I can't lip sync. I am not a good lip sync. You put me on there lip sync and dance, oh, I'm messing up every single time. That's a talent in itself. That's a skill in itself. But I get what she's saying, and I get why it made you go, ugh, because that's still kind of nasty.
I think with this, I think we can agree with the fact that her feelings in this moment were valid.
But
I think we can agree to disagree on everything else, which is fine. It's fine.
Because even if that's where she was, she should have in that moment found a way to be like, you know what? People are going to watch that and they will also see the same thing, because everyone here praised her vocals. They were strong, clean vocals. Breath control was correct. It wasn't anything where she was straining to hit a note or her tone was off. Like, it was very pretty to listen to. It just was boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
It's just like we know, like we've seen Drag Race enough to know that the talent show is not really about raw, because like
raw
it's
talent.
never been about that.
Same parts has
what
nothing.
she said. Yeah, I understand what she said and where she's coming from, but also, did you not know what you signed up for and what this is? My point.
And the show been on 17 seasons, and it's a lot of different franchises. You know what a talent show on Drag Race is about.
And
it's
you know that RuPaul doesn't really care about live singers. We know that.
Right.
He does
Last year, one of the winners of the talent show was a lady who covered her giant titties in ketchup and mustard. So in case you forgot, that's actually the show we're on right now.
That's the show we're doing right
that's
now.
My
so
point.
yes, very much valid.
Yes.
Anyway, Susie won.
Yeah. Correct.
And I do have a draft update.
Oh, wow.
Even though it's kind of a half-ish draft update, it's a very interesting update of drafting. Mind you, only 7 queens competed.
Yeah, I don't think I had anybody.
I was going to say, of all 8 of us that drafted, there is 1 person who did not have a single person that competed this week. So right now, Lana is in 8th place with 0 points.
It's not real yet.
It will change next week.
Yes. Similarly, I am in 7th place with 1 point because I only had Acacia. So, River and Brandon are currently tied for 5th with 3 points each. Brooke is in 4th place with 5 points. David is in 3rd place with 6 points. Kamorian is in 2nd place with 7.5 points. And currently leading the draft is Sugar with 8 points.
Oh.
Is that all from Susie?
Yes. And Joella.
Wait, I should have a point. I should have a point because Lana won the mini challenge. So I
Oh,
need
shit, you're right. Hold on. Give me a damn. It literally doesn't change the rankings whatsoever. So
I know
Lana's
because
now
it's
in 8th
0.5
place
point.
with half a point.
It's a fact
But I
that
want my points.
that
I
half
want
point's
my
gonna come
points.
back to bite you at the end, you know?
Yep.
Right, because I could lose by 0.5. I'm like, wait, we didn't give me my 0.5 point.
I lost a draft last year by 1 point. So, you know, it
See?
is very necessary.
It might have been by only half a point if you recount it, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Nothing changes. Just David is in 3rd with 6.5 also because he also
Period,
has
because
one.
he has Lana. Yep.
So.
Yep.
So
Am I the only one who picked Susie?
I think
no,
so.
Brooke also did.
Okay, cool.
And
I was
Brooke's
confu- I was
only
like-
person this week was Susie.
Word. The
So,
shift up will all happen next week, people. The
Correct.
shift up will
we'll
happen.
have more accurate draft results next week, as well as part 2 of the premiere and all that lovely stuff. So, thank you for joining us for this premiere recap. We've got 2 other videos that we're about to go film for you all, talking about the looks from this episode. So make sure to go check those out as well. We'll be back next week to talk about part 2 of the premiere. In the meantime, subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup, mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So, cheers!
Cheers.
So now I do the water bottle. Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
There you go.
Now.
You did it. You did
Carl
it.
out.